Welcome, friends, and this is Frederick Henry, and thank you for tuning in to the Frederick Henry podcast and downloading it. I want to thank you very much. I just want to address quickly just an opinion on the various conspiracy theories about Dr. Fauci and Dr. Bricks and all this kind of business and the coronavirus. And it seems to be on the Twitter sphere mainly that we see evidence that in 2017 Dr. Fauci warned that in the third year, isn't that interesting, of President Trump's administration, or during the latter part of his administration, let's put it that way, he was going to face a major pandemic. And then it was couched in the idea that maybe, it was cyclical and everybody faces one. Obama had Ebola, and this one had swine flu and so forth and so on. And of course, Trump would have the same. They all have the same. And from that, many conspiracy theorists have come up and said, well, Dr. Fauci is part of a cabal because he's related very heavily with the Clinton foundations and with the Clintons, and he has run right away always to CNN every time. And although he has previously touted the efficacy of hydroxychloroquine, he says, oh, well, I don't know. And then the whole idea of, well, maybe we should go on until September, and so on and so forth. And the question is Fauci part of a last-minute attempt or part of a plan to use a disease against the president in his final year in order to defeat him at the polls and win election for a Democrat? Nothing's impossible. And although I believe it's implausible, I wouldn't say it's impossible. Nothing's impossible in the world of Clinton politics. And at least your author on this end of it thinks that Clinton's hand is everywhere, and right next to that hand is Obama's hand. Although I don't think the Clintons and Obamas like each other, they will work hand in glove with each other in order to defeat Trump, because Trump is completely upsetting the political power structure. Previous to President Trump, a non-politician, a businessman, the rulership of the United States was in the hands of a very few powerful people behind the scenes, mostly Democrats, I believe, who you and I don't know and will never know the names of these people. But they put up Hillary Clinton, they had Obama backing it, they had everything in place, everything was set up. That's why Hillary didn't campaign. She didn't campaign because it was set up. The fix was in. She was going to win the election. There was no reason to run around campaigning. But Donald Trump said, you know what? The fix may be in on the Democrat side, and they may have all kinds of processes to steal the election, but I'm going to get out there and I'm going to work. I'm going to speak the truth, and I'm going to tell the American people what I'm going to do, and I'm going to ask for their support. And he got it, and he won the election. And since then, he has delivered on his promises. However, because of the political situation, much of what Donald Trump has had to do has been by presidential directive instead of the passing of law. Now, there's always a problem with that. When you have presidential directive this, presidential directive that, that means the next president can undo those things simply by issuing his own presidential directives. Just like Obama said, I don't need the Congress, I have my telephone and my pen. I can do what I want as long as I have my telephone and my pen. That's Barack Obama. And he did. He passed all kinds of presidential proclamations, all kinds of presidential rules and regulations. He set up a whole entire 8 years of government based upon his pen and his telephone. Now, Trump came in and he would have preferred to have a Republican Congress, but that was stolen from him. And the way it was stolen from him, in my opinion, was by cheating and stealing, by padding the voter rolls with illegal aliens who were in the United States, by cheating in certain places where they could get away with putting dead people on the rolls, or all that kind of stuff. But big time by ballot harvesting, by everybody gets a ballot, everybody has a mail-in opportunity, and then we pay Democrat National Committee personnel, harvesters, to go out there and get these votes, and on the day of the election to vote in the precincts where the Republicans are winning, and thereby to use this ballot harvesting scheme. It's a Democrat scheme to steal the election, and they did that very successfully in 7 congressional districts that were initially red, but when the ballot harvesting count was taken under the Democrat scheme, those reds, like presto magic, turned to blue and became Democrat. That's how they won the election, put Nancy Pelosi in power, and then have been opposing the President of the United States ever since. Now, Trump would have preferred that the Republicans went out really big time, which they didn't, and they would have really backed him up, which they didn't. And so then Trump had to do everything by directive and presidential order. Because you see, if it's a law, if you can get it past the Congress and get it put into a law, then it's permanent, and the next president will have to convince the Congress to undo the law. But if it's a directive, it can just be done with a pen and a phone. Really, that's as simple as that. Now, President Trump was forced into that. He did it. But the danger is that if he's defeated in 2020, the next candidate, Joe Biden, is the candidate presumed, will, even though Joe Biden won't be president, the vice president will be president, because Joe Biden will be probably, sadly, for him personally, not for the nation, but sadly for him, he will probably be in a hospital because he's not doing well mentally. And you can see that for yourself. I'm not being mean about that. So we need President Trump to win. Now, the question is that we started with, is there a possibility that the coronavirus is a conspiracy to overthrow Donald Trump's presidency? I don't think so in this sense. I don't think anybody created the coronavirus to do that. I don't think anybody brought the coronavirus here in order to do that. I don't think anybody created the pandemic in order to do that. But once the coronavirus was here, once the pandemic was here, once the procedure had begun via the Chinese passing it around to all the people in the United States and the world, then people never let a crisis go to waste. We've heard that so often. People on the anti-Trump side, the media, and many, many others have used it in order to shut down the American economy, shut down the progress in unemployment, shut down the civil rights of the people, shut down the advancement of the people of African American descent, shut down legal immigration and their progress, and to increase the possibility of a tyrannical obedience. You must obey. We, the government, say obey, and if you don't obey, doesn't matter if it's legal or constitutional, otherwise, if you don't obey, we're going to arrest you, whether you're paddleboarding on the ocean, one person, or whether you're in your house lifting weights with the door open. Those things will call the police on, and you'll get arrested because you're passing on the coronavirus. And there's many, many, many people walking down the street, for goodness sakes, arrested for walking down the street. And I would suggest to you that as far as I know, I'm not a lawyer, nor am I a politician, and I'm not a genius or a scholar, and I haven't done a tremendous amount of research, but as far as I know, it is illegal to force American citizens not to leave their home. I don't think that it's really a request for mandatory stay at home. If you don't stay at home, after all, you go out to the gas station to get gas, you go out to the food store to get food, you go out to the hospital to be seen. It's absurd. Anyway, nonetheless, so I don't think we want to, as a group of, I'm a pro-Trumper, as you know, and along with Don Bongino and Black conservative patriot, Don Bongino, and the people at Fox News, wonderful Hannity, wonderful Laura, wonderful Tucker, great people, and doing a great job of telling us the truth of what's going on. I don't think we want to be allowing ourselves to be tarred and feathered with the accusation that we're conspiracy theorists. But it does raise questions. It does raise questions about how a disease and the processes and the procedures we're going through now could be used to defeat the American people and to destroy the American freedom and to suppress us and make us into a socialist state with the handouts and the doles and controlled medicine and all the rest of that. There's a lot of control going on. It's a great amount of government overreach and power grabbing that we will have to examine when this is over. It's too late now to get involved with it, but we will have to examine and come up with solutions as to how we intend to do this as a society of voluntarily giving up temporarily some of our civil rights and liberties in the face of something like this, but never have it enshrined in law. We have to just oppose that entirely. And so again, I just cannot think of it as a conspiracy against the president. Although I will say this, the President Trump has taken this seriously, using the Emperor Fauci. You know, the press is making Fauci a medical emperor. He's like the emperor of the world community of medical doctors. Emperor. I don't know if he wants it or not. I'm not even saying he wants it. I don't even know if he's complicit in it. But the press is trying to make him into the medical emperor, just like they're trying to promote the New York mayor, the failed mayor, and the New York governor, the very failed governor, as the real solution to America's problems, while Donald J. Trump, our beloved president, handles the crisis on a daily basis and doing a phenomenal job. And I think the American people see that. And thank God that President Trump is the president. And thank God that President Trump has handled this. And thank God that he has not attempted to impose national restraints on every single citizen. He is a lover of freedom and a lover of our democracy and a lover of our Constitution and a defender of our rights. And he's not going to act against us illegally and force us all to become just obedient socialist robots. That's not where Donald Trump... And we can be thankful for that. And he's done a great job. And Dr. Birx and Dr. Fauci advising, and the other advisors. And now we need to move forward to put our economy back in place. Now today, as I'm talking to you, on the 6th day of April, the stock market is going up about 10%, thank God. And that's just an indicator, a forecaster, a prognosticator of a resurgent confidence in America. And also I'm reading today the trucking people, the shipping people, the transportation people, the logistical people, the grocery people, the retail people, and the farmers are assuring us that there is no shortage of anything that we need. We just need to regain our confidence, regain our equilibrium, overcome our fear once and for all, and restore ourselves to where we were before, and then move beyond that to the future. Thank you. I just wanted to share that with you on this Monday, and appreciate you downloading this. If you have a like button on this, please like it. I would like to know that people are listening. I know you're there. I know you're downloading it. I'm getting 1,800 downloads of this broadcast every day, and every day that I broadcast it, and then back issues too as well. People go and they find others that I have put out there, and I really appreciate that. And I want to thank you and ask you to continue to support this effort. It's one citizen voter like yourself. By the way, I have a doctorate, just so you know. I'm 73 years old, so you know. I've had a professional career which has been successful, just so you know. I do this, it's a passion with me. I'm very pro-Trump. I think Trump is a man who we should honor and we should re-elect, especially in 2020. And then in 2024, we'll see what happens, you know? We'll see how that goes. So this is Frederick Henry, and thank you very much for downloading the Frederick Henry Show.